All right, I am so excited to share one of my low-key besties. He doesn't know it yet. Vincent Tobias Bell in this episode. He is a hairstylist, my hairstylist, a celebrity hairstylist, and someone that I want everyone to get to know and meet. And in this episode, we are going to talk about all things networking, like how to elevate your networking, how to think about going into the next room that you go into with more confidence and elevation, and just the tips that you need to do exactly that, because it's time for you to evolve and get to whatever you want to get to. First of all, tell me about the different types of rooms you be in, because he be trying to be shy, y'all.
We be in the room.
I mean, I feel like you've been to New York a lot lately.
Absolutely. I get to get in rooms like for Maybelline campaigns, for Oikos, like that's the yogurt. That did the Met Gala last
Yes, you
this
did.
year.
I was waiting for it. I was like,
And that was like the peak like of this year for me.
for sure. And Fashion Week
Yes, Fashion Week
several times.
several times. And sitting alongside the people that I look up to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for starters, like, what does that mean to be in rooms like that for you? Like,
For me, it's a dream come true, number one, full circle. You dream of these things and think of these things. When I was little, it was a thing of this word or this term I would use is dream big. It
Yes.
just always stuck with me.
Yes.
And I would just it was like, just go for the stars and just go for the biggest thing imaginable. So just being in those rooms, it just means it's just life changing. I don't want to say this, but I could die right now and be like and be good.
he said I'm
really
good.
good.
Yeah.
Like, because I feel like I've really reached what I've dreamt of, and and in most of the rooms I'm just assisting.
No, not just.
Well,
Yeah, but you're assisting.
I'm assisting, but I'm in the room.
Yes, absolutely. Get it
But-
right. Okay.
So, and I do one day. I will be keying
Yes.
a lot of the
Like, this is really just the beginning.
moments. Absolutely, and so it's
I feel like, well, like, you've had to work hard to get there.
for sure.
Like, what does working hard to get in those types of rooms mean?
I remember I used to. This was out even when I finished hair school. I didn't have my car had gone out. I used to.
Yeah,
I travel as a freelance hairstylist now, so I travel to all my clients. I used to be on the MARTA, public transportation.
Wait, you said how you said it though on the MARTA. Like, do you know? That's how I be with trains.
It's not like the New York subway, so it doesn't go as far as.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
It's only like limited, and so I used to be on the MARTA, like carrying a big hair dryer.
Vincent.
Listen to clients, just suitcases on like product and tools and supplies just to like get the job done.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even like making the money that I make now, and I feel like as I've grown and evolved and listened to my clients, just raising my prices has definitely helped me.
Come on.
It's definitely evolved my clientele, and I feel like that's how I've gotten into the rooms that I've gotten into.
Oh, that's a good point. Actually, wait, let's rewind. Okay, so you think that because of you said a few things. One, you listen to your clients. And does that just mean that you listen to them telling you to raise your prices, or like you're worth more, or what?
That, and also maybe I don't like this. I don't like how you did this. It sharpened my skill set.
I see. So basically, like, if someone gives some critique, like, you accept the critique.
Yeah.
And and that's the thing too. I feel like when you recognize that it's important for you to accept critique, it's much easier for you to be in rooms where you will be critiqued.
That's absolutely.
And you can't take that personally.
That's one I used to take it very personal.
Yes.
Very personally, and just sharpening that iron and sharpening that muscle with sort of the not the letdown, but just like I don't like this, and I need you to
it's
redo
just
it.
preference.
Yeah.
It's just ultimately preference. And I think the folks that you're in the rooms with now, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the folks you're in the room with now have strong preferences.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. And that's key to being quality and at the top. So it's like, if you don't have the opportunity to be around people that require you to do more and be more, you're not going to be able to evolve on a level where you should be.
And sustain.
Yes.
Yeah.
True. Okay. So when you're in these rooms, because, something that I'm very passionate about, and I just kind of wanted him to tell you, like, what types of rooms he's in. He's been to New York. Obviously, you're in Atlanta. Atlanta has very powerful people.
Yes.
You've been in a variety of rooms here.
Yes.
You've been around a dynamic, diverse group of individuals across the board, right?
Absolutely.
Different types of personalities. Go ahead. No,
I want to.
yeah, you like, no, I'm ready. How would you say you are able to, because in my world or in my mind, when you're in different rooms or different types of rooms or with different types of people, sometimes it's a lot to take in, right? You walk in and you're like, especially for an introvert like me, I'm like, yo.
Me too. I always have to like ground myself going in.
Right.
Finish your question.
Right. Like you gotta be with self beforehand to be like, okay, let me walk in here and be what I gotta be. Yeah.
Yes.
But it's like, how do you prepare for those rooms?
Oh my gosh. In the beginning, I didn't feel confident enough to ask as many questions as far as like, what am I walking into? What does the client need? What, all the details of what is needed for the job. But as I've grown, I've realized the asking of the questions and getting the details of the job helps me to, number one, be more prepared, well prepared for what I'm walking into. And that helps me. When I feel prepared, I feel like I can take it on.
Sure.
Like I can let the nerves go. I mean, the nerves will be there, but I can push those to the background and
I love that with preparation. And even though you have some nerves, it's okay. Like,
let's just get to it.
Even from like a networking perspective, like I would imagine you're not just in rooms with clients, or a lot of your clients maybe invite you to places where like there's some networking happening and there's some important people in the room.
Right.
Like, how do you feel walking? Because listen, I've been in a lot of rooms, and years ago, I used to kind of keep to myself and not really feel like I could connect with the proper people when I walked into the room.
Same.
But now I'm the complete opposite. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna walk into this room like I belong because I do, because I'm up in here.
Hello.
Okay. But like, how do you feel, or what's been your transition of like going from maybe someone that didn't feel confident walking into any type of space, whether it's doing clients' hair or going into a networking place?
So like you, my transition, in the beginning, it was super nervous and like, oh my gosh, what do I even say or how do I even, but I found this one thing, I realized this one thing about myself. I love asking questions.
Yes.
And like I'm super curious about.
I love that.
Like the smallest little.
Smallest little.
And so once I find someone that we see each other, and I sort of stick with them until I find that next person.
Wait a minute. So what does that mean for you? Because I feel the same way. Like I go somewhere and like there's someone that I see, they see me, like we connect. But what does that mean for you? Like, how does that look?
It means alignment.
Yes.
It's a feeling, and it looks like I go and I mean, I'm not like looking around and
you like, wait a minute.
I am. I'm looking around, but then I'm also feeling around.
Yes.
Too. Like I'm
feeling around.
Introducing myself, number one, to everyone in the room, and then seeing who feels good and who's open and being receptive to
like connecting on a deeper level. Well, I love what you said. Like you said, I like asking questions. Like I feel like a lot of people don't ask questions.
I'm so not a surface person.
Yeah.
I'm not a small talker.
Me either.
Like, what was your childhood like?
Who is you? Like, what is really going on with your life? You know? And I think that is what drives people to connect on a deeper level with you, because I feel like the point of this conversation for me is like, I don't make shallow connections.
Yes.
Like I really like diving in and like either we in or we out when we walk up out of here. Like we gonna reconnect and be all in or not. And I feel like a lot of people are more consumed with making like transactional connections, right? Than like deep, real, authentic connections. Yeah. And I think one of the ways that you can make authentic connections is by asking questions and by listening. Yeah. Right? Like
I agree. And there was a client that taught me about transactions. And versus like cultivating a real relationship. Yes. And I've definitely learned, there was one moment where I was just moving in transactions. But then also there was one moment I was just doing the free thing and being sweet and being nice. But that didn't feel good either. And so I had to learn the balance of both. Because I mean, there's a thing of leverage, and that's something I've recently learned.
Come on with the leverage.
Recently learned, and that's also what helps me to network too. It's like maybe we don't have like a friendship, but how can I help you? How can you help me?
Like how can we? And that's the thing. It's like being reciprocal in your relationships, and also being like, I can provide you with value. You can provide me with value. Like this isn't just like take.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of people, and even when I walk into rooms, I can see people making those transactions or like being very lackluster in how they just speak to people that they meet. And I'm like, yo,
get deeper.
I mean, right. Like, and I see you. It's like, just show up as you. Yeah. And just show up with this knowing you're supposed to be in the room and connect beyond just the surface.
I also think some people do, that is them at that moment.
You know what? That's a great point. Because, and I'd be like,
as a transaction person, and that's who they are.
And that's okay.
And that's really okay.
It's really okay. You just say, I'm just, like, we're not aligned in that way. And that's a good point too. Yeah. I also think it's funny how we even met. Like,
I know.
Like how I still don't know how we got close. Like, but I just love you.
I love you too.
Right?
And I will say my new networking now is, as I'm on set, I am networking. I speak to everyone in the room.
Do you?
All the photographers, all the directors, all the assistants.
And that's important too.
Because you just never know.
Yeah. And that's key as well, that like you don't know who. Don't. And you're not doing it because you're trying to gain something. Right. It's just like, oh, guess what? You're a human too. Exactly. And you're here. Yeah. And like, why don't I just acknowledge you? Because I can appreciate the value that you're putting in in this space.
Yeah. And that's how I started working with one of my more consistent mentors. We were doing I signed up for this thing called Black Beauty Roster. It's a like sort of like a hub for like artists. I think it's nail artists, barbers, makeup artists, hairstylists. And they had they reached out to me. I was in the airport on the way to Fashion Week. Okay. I had my dates already for some shows. And then they reached out and they were like, we have an additional show. Can you do it? And it was, the key was Rihanna stylist. Yes. What is his name? Yusuf. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yes. Like, what do you mean?
What the heck? And so I did that. But there was a moment in the backstage where we had to switch stations or pair up with people. And we were pairing up. I had no clue who the heck I was standing next to. Like, it's a lot of big heavy hitters, even when you're assisting. Yeah. It's a lot of big heavy hitters in the room. And it's like, at the end of the day, she was like, do you want to assist?
That's crazy.
So-and-so. And I'm like, what?
Like, hell
Exactly. And I had just spoken about her the week before.
Shut up.
Seriously.
Isn't that amazing?
It was so that was one lesson that taught me or confirmed, like, speak to everyone in the freaking room.
Speak to everybody. And also, like, people are watching.
Yes.
People are paying attention. Like, people are paying attention to how you move.
They are.
And
They
you don't
really
want to
are.
move jacked
Even if
up.
they don't say.
Yes.
Even on social media.
Yes. Speak it. Okay. How you move on social media is important. Like, people are watching. People are looking at how you communicate, what you post, how you comment. Like, and that is just recognize that, like, that's a part of your networking.
Yeah, it is.
Whether people want to admit it or not, like, all of those things encompass your personality, and you bring that to the table in whatever room you walk into.
Absolutely.
It's your reputation without it speaking. Yeah. It's like, come on, do that move again. This is why I can't deal with it. I feel like if you could tell someone, I'm going to ask you two questions. One, if you could tell someone that was is little Vincent trying to be in this industry, and they're trying to figure out, like, how they can build relationships and solid relationships, what would your advice be?
Tell little Vincent.
Yeah.
I would say quiet the noise. And go within.
Okay, wise one.
And listen. I never forget, Oprah always says this. She's like, when you don't know what to do nothing.
Do nothing. Facts.
And it's so...
And it'll come to you.
That's such a powerful thing.
I also want to ask one last question, takeaway. What would you say to someone that is an introvert, like myself, okay, that is wanting to get out there, not even in the industry, just in general, and they're thinking about going to, like, a networking event, but they're, like, freaking scared? What would you say, like, how to handle that? Like, just go. For me, I would just say, just get your butt up, put your confidence pants on, and get out of your comfort zone, and recognize that you don't have to be perfect the first time.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with that.
But what would you say?
Also, I would say it doesn't hurt to bring someone along, but don't stay with them the entire time.
Like, move away from them.
Move away. And also remember this, like there's a thing of, like, the weakest links linking together.
Ooh.
So you don't want to look like
Be with the weakest link.
Yeah. Even if you are the weakest link, you don't want to look.
Wait a minute. It's true.
I've been the weakest, and in some rooms I am the weakest link.
Well, what is that?
In that particular,
Well, yes. And
as far as experience.
Experience. Okay.
Not,
That's
like,
what I was
spiritually, not.
Okay. Thank you. You like, get it right.
Clear it up.
That's what I was saying. I was like, wait a minute, clarify.
That's clear. Yeah. Experience-wise.
Yes. First of all, be intentional about what you want to gain from it, whether that's just, like, maybe you just want to be more comfortable, right? Maybe you just want.
That just takes practice.
Yes.
Just going.
Yes. Just get up and go. Yeah. Or maybe it's like, I want to meet someone for this.
Right.
You know? And you go in with that intention, be confident, and just flow with it.
And be open to that intention changing at the
Facts.
end, middle ways, or at the end,
Facts.
or the next time, you know.
Yes.
Just be open.
Because it's okay.
Intention is good.
Yes. Intention, being intentional is good because it kind of guides you and it shows the universe, God, whatever you believe, what alignment you want to flow in.
Yeah.
And it tells the universe what you want to receive. So intention is always good.
I will also say, go back to my younger self, get as clear as possible with what you want and what you don't want. And that only comes from practice and doing the things.
And doing the thing, do the things.
Listen.
And on that note, we say, do the things.
Do the things to gain the clarity.
Okay. Well, thank you, Vincent. My fave.
Thank you.
Until next time, y'all.
If you like this episode with Vincent, make sure to comment and like, and of course, go follow my good old friend, Vincent Tobias Bell on Instagram.